Hi, I'm Rohin Dharmakumar, the host of First Principles and the co-host of the 2x2 podcast.
Hi, I'm Rahil, the host of 90,000 Hours, the Ken's newest podcast about the future of careers and workplaces.
And I am Snigdha Sharma, the host and producer of Daybreak, our daily business news podcast.
I'm Praveen Gopalkrishnan. I'm also the co-host of 2x2 and the host of the best podcast of the Ken. It's called The Nut Gruff.
I'm also the ghost of Sitaraman Ji, who's the producer and host of Make India Competitive Again. That's the other premium podcast that we've missed.
And Brady.
So we have a lot of podcasts.
So that's 6 podcasts, each of which covers a completely different topic and offers unprecedented insight, if I may say so myself.
No, but actually that's true. First Principles is about leadership. 90,000 hours.
Of course it's true. What do you mean? But it's true.
No.
What do you think
I just
like
realized
lying
now
over?
that we sat together. 90,000 hours is about careers. Daybreak is about news and what's happening. The Nut Graph is about connections. And 2x2 is our business strategy.
PGK, just a question. Did you think that when we come up with new podcasts at the Ken, we don't think if they overlap with each other or not?
No, I just realized now that this is all together. It's nice. But yes, but why are we here? We are here because...
We're here to make a very special announcement. Up until now, a lot of people assumed that the only way to access our very many podcasts was by having an annual subscription. We're here to tell you that's not the case anymore.
And not an annual subscription to the Ken. You
Correct.
can actually access it by subscribing to the Ken on Apple Podcasts for a monthly plan.
So you could actually try us out by signing up for a monthly subscription. Check out all our premium podcasts. And if at the end of the month you don't feel you liked it enough, you can unsubscribe. But I tell you, I challenge you, you're unlikely to do that because we put out a pretty solid podcast.
All the details will be in the show notes of this episode.
You probably don't think about it when you send an email or share a doc or hop on a quick video call. But in that small moment, you are choosing sides in one of the biggest technology battles of our time. And the fight is not about who makes the best spreadsheet. It is about who owns the future of artificial intelligence at work. Now, here's the thing. Google and Microsoft are not just competing to sell you tools. They are competing to make sure that you never have to choose AI because it is already baked into everything that you do. And right now, Google is scrambling. It is building new sales teams, it is raising prices, it is bundling AI into every product that it can, all in a race against Microsoft, which got there first, weaving ChatGPT into Word, Excel, Team, Azure, you name it. But the battlefield is not just in Silicon Valley. One of the most important testing grounds actually happens to be India. Because India is where the numbers are massive. Millions of businesses, billions of users, and a price-sensitive market that forces companies to prove whether their products are essential or just nice to have. So, inside Google, a shift is happening right now. The strategy is no longer email first. It is Gemini first. Gemini is not just a chatbot, it is the spearhead of Google's campaign to win back ground from Microsoft. But here's the twist. Google actually invented the tech that made all of this possible back in 2017. Then OpenAI and Microsoft ran with it, and Google got caught flat-footed. So the question now is, can Google's bundling play, which is forcing Gemini into every deal, actually work? Or is it too late for the company that actually started it all? Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Snigdha Sharma, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rahil Philippos and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Thursday, the 28th of August. A Google employee told my colleague, the Ken reporter Abhirami G, that new teams are being created within the sales team to push Gemini forward. And that is the strategy in one sentence. Build teams, push Gemini, wrap it inside Google Workspace or Google Cloud. Don't sell email, don't sell cloud, just sell AI by making sure that the customer cannot escape it. Now, if you're already paying for Workspace, you will pay for Gemini. And if you're already on Google Cloud, you will pay for Gemini. And the hope is that the customer will say, fine, we're already in, why not just use it? But the problem is Microsoft. It moved first. It tied OpenAI's model straight into Microsoft 365, into Teams, into Copilot, and into Azure. So, for a Microsoft customer, AI is not a decision, it's just there. And yet, Google still has cards to play. On paper, Google Workspace looks strong. 45% global share compared to Microsoft 365's 29%. More than 10 million paying customers and over 3 billion monthly active users. But cloud is a different story. Google Cloud just has 11% market share. Microsoft Azure has 24%, and Amazon Web Services or AWS has 31%. And cloud adoption is sticky. Once an enterprise picks a provider, it usually tends to stay. So, Google's pitch is simple. Even if a company won't switch from Microsoft Office, maybe it will pick Google Cloud and Gemini to build tools, store data, or automate workflows. Gemini, in other words, is not consumer facing as such. It is not OpenAI's ChatGPT. It is a product to convince Indian enterprises to spend more. Google wants to brand it as the go to work companion. So, Google doesn't want to be known just for Gmail anymore. It wants to be the company that sells AI for work. And this is ironic because back in 2017, it was Google scientists that wrote the paper that made modern AI possible. Then OpenAI launched ChatGPT in 2022 and made Google look like it is slow. By 2023, Google was scrambling, and by 2024, it had kind of steadied itself. And now, in 2025, at least in India, Gemini is the tip of Google's spear. So, what does all of this look like in practice? It looks like Airtel using Gemini tools for customer service, Myntra launching a home decor feature with Imagine, Google's image generator, Nika rolling out visual search powered by Gemini's multimodal API. It looks like Dashverse, an AI entertainment startup building comics, and even a 90-minute Indian mythology epic with Gemini, View, and Lyria. These are not just demos, they are live deployments, real customers, and that is why Google thinks that it can make Gemini the default in India. But the sales play is still about price and lock in. Most Indian companies do not juggle multiple cloud platforms. They pick one, and the vendors know it, so the pricing gets cutthroat. Gemini's Pro plan costs 1,950 rupees a month, almost the same as ChatGPT Plus, which is at 1,999, and also close to Claude Pro at 1,740 rupees. But then, as we all know, OpenAI recently undercut everyone with an India-only ChatGPT Go plan at just 399 rupees per month. Now, at the API level, Gemini 2.5 Pro charges $1.25 per million tokens for inputs and $10 for outputs. That is the same as GPT-5 but far cheaper than Claude Opus, which charges $15 and $75 respectively. But Google is also bundling hard. It even raised Workspace base pricing in India so that Gemini is included by default. You are paying for it whether you want it or not. That is the same tactic that Microsoft used with Teams. Slack was popular with developers, but Teams exploded simply because it came free with Office. A senior AI leader summed it up perfectly. In today's market, the quality of your tech is not the differentiator. It is how good you are at selling. And that is the question hanging over Google. Because Microsoft has long standing enterprise deals in India. AWS has first mover advantage. And Google, it is still figuring out how to crack the code. One angle now is students. Google made Gemini free for them in India, hoping that they will get used to it before they graduate. Another is also regulation. Google says that enterprises concerned about privacy may trust it more than smaller AI firms. In July, it even launched local ML processing for regulated industries like healthcare and finance. And despite arriving late, Google does have history on its side. Chrome was late to the browser war, but yet it won. Search was not first, but it became dominant. Former Google employees argue that that could happen with Gemini as well. Because Gemini is not just one model anymore. It is the brand for Google's entire AI suite. VO3 for video, Chirp for speech to text, Gemma for open source models. Google owns the whole stack: data centers, chips, and models. And it is pitching it all as one subscription. That way, the question for enterprises is not which AI tool should I buy? The question becomes, why buy anything else if Gemini is already included? So, can this strategy work? Google has nothing to lose in India. With the smallest footprint, it can undercut on price, lean on bundling, and push for privacy as its differentiator. If it wins cloud and workspace share, AI adoption will follow. And if it doesn't, then Microsoft and Amazon will keep pulling further ahead, leaving Google once again as the company that invented the future but could not sell it. So, that is the story. Google invented the AI building blocks, Microsoft turned them into business. Now, in India, Google is trying to flip the script, forcing Gemini into every contract, every bundle, and every cloud deal. But here is the real cliffhanger. In a market that is this price sensitive, will enterprises embrace Gemini because they love it or because they cannot escape it? And ultimately, that is what will decide whether Google finally catches up or stays stuck as a runner-up in a race that it started.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted by Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.